are live. Hey. So let's see what's going on the Facebook side. Yeah, we are live. So, hello, everyone. So people will start trickling in one at a time. This is Jamila's the first one to hop on. We should go ahead and share this a little bit. Someone's watching. Hey, Jamila. I'm assuming it's you. Let me open up the actual. Yeah, it is. Oh, let's see. So I'm gonna share with, then we'll get some people to hop in and join us. Dwight's watching. Hey, we're just getting started here. Hey, Jamila. Awesome. Cool. So we're gonna go ahead. Yay, we have some people joining. Hey, Nathaniel. How are you? Everyone who's here, drop a hey or a hi, a howdy, an emoji down in the comments, just so that we know you're here and you're with us. Don't be shy. It's okay to be shy. We have with us today Lamont Brown from the Swaliga Foundation. He is family. So we are excited to have him. He's the real deal, true blue entrepreneur. Sorry if I sound a little raspy today, a little sinus something going on. Cool, awesome. So Lamont, usually what we do is we go ahead and get started and people will start trickling in on us as we do. Hey Nathaniel, hello. I'm well prepping orders and ordering items for Sunday. Awesome. So Nathaniel, he's one of our savvy entrepreneurs. He creates natural products, so skincare products, beauty products. So someone else that we love and support and that we're really, really proud of. Awesome. So let's go ahead and get started. And let's just start really quickly. I've given a quick introduction of Lamont, but let me give another one. So Lamont actually is the CEO of the Swaliga Foundation, and that is a local organization. I say local, but they have an international footprint to the Washington, D.C. area. And it's all about children. It's all about children and STEAM education. For anyone who's not familiar with STEAM, that is this, you've heard, I'm sure you've heard of STEM, which is science, correct me if I'm wrong, technology, engineering, and math. Yeah, all right. And then you add the arts. Yay. So you add the arts for STEAM, which of course is very dear and near to my heart and very near and dear to Lamont because he's actually an artist. He's one of those people that is the true blue meaning of collaborating, communication, art, technology, and business together, which is really the way that the world is going. Awesome. So hello, Navari. Welcome. Navari is another one of our savvy entrepreneurs. He's a creative as well, local to the. So everyone here, except for Jamila, actually, sorry, Jay, is local to the DMV. So that's pretty exciting. And also make sure you guys all connect. So really quickly, I've given a quick introduction of Swaliga. Lamont, tell us a little bit about you and your journey and how'd you get here?
Wow. First, thank you for having me.
Yay.
Yeah, excited to share. So this journey started, I would have to say it started back in 2011 when I really had like a life-changing experience. I was finishing up at Drexel University up in Philly. And basically I ran into somebody that told me that I wasn't doing enough, that I was not using my full potential. So that basically sparked this whole me trying to figure out, okay, what can I do to actually help? Like, what is my purpose? That's when those thoughts started to really come to fold. So then fast forward to 2012 when I actually graduated, from Drexel, got my degree in architectural engineering. I founded the Swaliga Foundation, and I came back to Washington, D.C. in 2012. And was really just getting started. Didn't know much about nonprofits. Didn't really know about even owning my own business, but knew that I wanted to work with young people. I knew that I wanted to get back in that way, and then just seeing the need as far as math and science, particularly in the DC area. But I know that's a big thing everywhere. I wasn't, admittedly, I wasn't the best student. I wasn't like that super straight A student the whole time, but I understood how I needed to learn. So that kind of became our driving force for like the mission of the Swaliga Foundation. Our focus is mainly education, but really just meeting people where they are and adapting to different learning styles. And that's why we use the arts to teach them. And I think STEAM education is such an important thing right now. When you think about all of the different tools and things that we have at our disposal, it's definitely time that we start learning differently, and that we start teaching our young people a lot differently. So that's what we hope to do with the Swaliga Foundation.
Awesome. And I mean, already I know personally a lot of the projects and stuff that you do around the city, everything from, Steam the Block to traveling to South Africa to just the day, in the streets with the children. Can you tell us a little bit more about exactly what you do with the kids?
Definitely. So my first passion is music, right? I'm a music artist, been doing music forever. But this newfound passion is definitely teaching, working with young people. We do everything from talking about sound waves and energy to making beats to using lasers to 3D printing. I mean, the list goes on. But I think I think overall, what I do is just try to change the perspective, if you will, no matter what the topic is.
Nice.
And I think that's really something that's missing, is just building that confidence. So we do a lot of different activities that show the connections between things that they love doing that are creative, like making music, for example, or like photography, or graphic design, things like that. And we show them how it connects to the things that they're already learning in school, whether it be physics, whether it be mathematics, whether it be something dealing with technology. All of these things are related. So that's mainly every activity that we do just kind of shows those intersections, and then really is geared towards boosting their confidence in those different areas.
Excellent. So everyone here, what really hit me is you said, I wasn't a perfect student. So it's really cool that you decided to give back to the kids that way. So I want everyone who's here watching, tell us what type of student you were with an emoji. Like, tell us if you were the nerd. I was the nerd, but I was a cool nerd, I say, right? So, give us an emoji that tells us exactly what type of student you were. Jamila says, we have a question. We'll take them as they come. What is the age range of the children you help?
Yeah, so we do K through 12 is our main focus. Our largest population is middle school though, so that 11 to 14 age range is probably our biggest population.
Nice. And what are some of the challenges and the joys of working with the kids in that age range?
Yes, the joys and challenges. Are we specifically talking about the middle school age range, or just in general?
Yes. In general, actually, working with children, especially from the inner city, and getting them really interested in STEAM education, or keeping them interested in STEAM education.
Yeah. So I'll start in general, and then I'll talk about the middle school age range. So my first run-in with teaching I started as a volunteer. I was volunteering at the Boys and Girls Clubs for about 4 months, doing this program where they had all this music equipment donated, but nobody at the club knew how to use it. So I was just showing them how to record music and use the equipment. So they would come in all excited. A lot of them want to be rappers and artists, so they have their own thing. But then when I started talking about, all right, well, first we're going to learn this. We're going to talk about frequencies. We're going to talk about amplitude. It took a while for them to kind of warm up to the idea. But I think the biggest thing with all K through 12, any young person, the biggest thing is those relationships. One of a wise person said, nobody cares how much you know until they know how much you care. So like as soon as yeah, which is very true. Like as soon as you're able to really connect with the young person on a deeper level outside of, all right, we're here doing this activity, the buy-in is much different. They're willing to be more creative, be more open. And that I had to learn very quickly. So that's general for all age groups, from high school down to kindergarten, 5 years old. And they're drastically different. The middle school age group, though, that's like a weird transition phase where they're like, all right, we're not little kids anymore, but we're trying to be grown ups. They're really trying to like figure out their whole place and everything, and even figure out what they like to do. So I enjoy working with that age group because they're super sharp. Like we can give them a lot of high end content as far as what they're learning, but they're also still a lot more moldable, if you will. They're more open to change and trying new things, which is really cool. And that age group in particular, I mean, they're gonna be. I'm very intentional about working with them because they're gonna be leading our country within the next 10 to 12 years. So that's an important age group to really focus on. Absolutely. Hold on, your sound went out. I can't hear you. Can you still hear me? Okay. Mm, 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 mm. Yeah. Now for a word from our sponsors.
Oh man, all technology.
We're back. Yeah, technical difficulties can
Oh,
happen
so let's see. Now I hear echo. Oh, I think it's gone. How's it sound?
Yeah, no, you're loud and clear.
Oh, I apologize, everyone. All this fancy technology, right? Wireless earbuds and stuff. And you have to go old school in order to get it to work. But we're back. Cool. Okay. So again, we're talking about what I was asking was with this age range, right? I know you do some really cool things like, going to South Africa. Tell us a little bit about that mission and that trip and, how it was traveling with the youth, hour, like on a, 10, 12-hour flight, maybe even more than that.
A little bit more than that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's so interesting how that even came about. I was blessed to go back in 2015, just kind of on a whim. A friend of mine, Josh, he was like, "Hey, I heard about this leadership program that they're doing," and then I ended up going, and it changed my life. Quite frankly, it was literally the most amazing experience I'd ever had. And I began to talk to the organizers of the trip and the travel agents and things like that about Swaliga Foundation and some of the work that we were doing back in the States. And then somebody had the bright idea, like, hey, do you think your students will want to experience this? And I was like, absolutely. Like, they need to see this. So then the very following year in 2016, we did our first exchange trip, and it started with just 2 students. We took them over to South Africa. We did Cape Town. We did Joburg. And it was amazing. Like I work with more than 100 young people every week after school. Sometimes it's only an hour, sometimes more, sometimes less. But I don't always get to see the impact of how much they're actually getting from the sessions. Like I know they love it. When I come in, they're like, "Hey, Mr. Image, hey, how you doing?" Like they're excited. But the difference when we did this exchange trip to South Africa, in that 2-week time frame, I could literally see a difference in the young people from when we left to when we got back. I mean, confidence, the speech, even the posture, like there were a lot of different things that I could see. So I knew we were on the right track in terms of the importance of this exchange trip. The following year, 2017, which was last summer, we were able to take 5 students, and they had an amazing time. We were, staying in the community. Like we did homestays. We got to visit a local high school. We were doing STEAM workshops, even mixing the STEAM aspect with the cultural aspect too. We got to really get an inside look at what it's like to live there in South Africa. And of course, we got to see some sites as well, Table Mountain, Robben Island. But they loved it so much. 2 of them are going with us again this year. So we're super excited. We're gearing up. This year we have 20 people total, educators, young people, taking more students than we've ever taken. So I'm super.
I keep trying to sneak in his luggage, but I've exceeded the age limit, so he's leaving me behind every
year. You're more than welcome. We're actually, so what's even more interesting this year, we're actually meeting. We started something called the Global Education Exchange Coalition. So we're meeting up with students and educators from across the country, from LA to Nashville, as well as Houston. Groups from those cities are going to be meeting us over there as well, all with the same mission to just connect these young people. Because that's really what it's about. The purpose of the whole thing is just to connect people so that we can begin to break down these stereotypes and begin to really build, because we're dealing with a lot of the same issues, and we have a lot of the same talents and gifts as well.
Awesome. So now let's talk a little bit about your journey as an entrepreneur, right? Awesome. So you've already told us what kind of sparked the journey. So tell us a little bit about what have been some of your biggest successes. What's been your biggest success in starting the Swaliga Foundation?
That's a tough one. My biggest success in starting the Swaliga Foundation. So my initial answer is when we got a partnership with Best Buy. That was like a dream. I mean, it went from one of those things like, hey, that would be cool if, to getting the letter in the mail like, this is crazy.
Nice.
And this was only, for a younger organization, that's not really that easy to do. Less than 3 years old, for a major corporation like Best Buy to kind of give us the stamp, that was major. I felt really excited about that. And then if I could add another one, I would say even just most recently, partnering with the city, like District of Columbia has been very gracious. They reached out to us about our STEAM program. So yeah, they're becoming an amazing partner. And again, for us still being a fairly young organization in the grand scheme of things, like I really appreciate that type of support.
Awesome. So for those of us or anyone out there who has a nonprofit or who's looking to work with major corporations like Best Buy, what gave you the idea? What process did you take, and what was the outcome?
I mean, besides a lot of prayer and diligence and consistency, it's relationships. We all know that most things happen through relationships.
Absolutely.
And I think one of the things that I had to learn too is like everything is there for you to have, but you have to take it. So like that opportunity in particular, the opportunity was there for me to meet this person. But obviously our meeting wasn't even about a partnership, let alone with the Swaliga Foundation. So it was just me kind of going from the idea, as I mentioned, to being consistent and diligent and really putting it out there, what you want, what you're looking to get, and having, the track record and the resources to make it happen, obviously. But as long as you're consistent, like companies and organizations are looking to do innovative and new things. So if you're able to really just give them an idea of how you can be a value add, you're able to make those types of connections. So it's definitely possible.
Absolutely. Did you have to like write anything up, like a proposal or request for a grant or something like that?
I did. So like to give you an idea, we didn't actually officially partner or get an official letter from them until 2015. So it took a little more than a year. It was almost 2 years actually.
Wow.
Yeah. From, just the initial conversations to going back and forth. And then, I wasn't asked, but I wrote up a whole proposal. It had logos on it. It had a rundown, like it had everything.
Nice.
You got to really make it plain. You have to let people see it. We're very visual people. So that is was definitely a big part of that whole process happening.
Nice. And I think that's super important to know because, when you say, oh, yeah, I got it through relationships, people think that that's where it stops, right? So let me hit up the homie and, get that money, right? But the reality is there's still a lot of blood, sweat, and tears that goes to kind of take advantage of the relationship or the connection that you have, right?
Exactly. Consistency.
Awesome. So Navari, of course, he said that's major. Congrats on the Best Buy opportunity.
Thank you.
And then Jamila says most things happen. She's not mimicking you, echoing you, and it says most things happen through building relationships. Awesome. So let's go to the other side, right? What has been your biggest challenge since starting the Swaliga Foundation? Biggest
challenge. So the Swaliga Foundation is a nonprofit, a 501c3. Which does take a while to get as well, but they come with some very unique challenges in that I'm sure a lot of people may know already. One of the biggest is funding, So us being a new organization, the biggest thing is finding creative ways to get funding and to get things that we need. So like I literally just went officially full-time at the end of last year, 2017. So I had, kind of had that extra income. You get used to that too.
Right.
It makes things flow a lot easier, but just being full-time when it's literally up to you to secure funding and to be responsible for every single aspect of your business, it makes you a lot hungrier. I will say that. So that's been one of my biggest challenges. And I've met it with, that trial and error period. I feel like I'm kind of getting the hang of it now. Particularly as being as a nonprofit, most funding comes from grants, but just understanding the nature of the nonprofit world, all of the funding can't come from grants. So I've had to be more creative with building new partnerships, forming new relationships. And we've been able to get a lot of contracts as a result of that, which is more guaranteed funds.
Okay.
So that we can plan and do a lot more things with what we have. So that's been one of the biggest challenges.
Awesome. Brandon says, yeah, getting your 501c3 is a hard process in itself.
Oh, yeah. I mean, and I should have mentioned that when you said like one of the biggest things that I'm like proud of, that was a whole process. That's a
wow. Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
And we have a couple of entrepreneurs here that so of course Brandon Neely, he just actually sold a coffee shop for profit, but it's all about the community as well. And he's out of the Midwest. And he helps entrepreneurs with, finances and, leveraging your money. Navari, he's local to the DMV as well, as we talked about Nathaniel. And he made the transition to going full-time not too long ago. Nice. So he's a creative. He has his own digital marketing agency. That would be someone actually that would be really good for you guys to kind of connect. And, maybe he could even help because he does speaking and stuff, maybe with the kids. I'm volunteering you, Navari, to work with Swaliga and, help the kids. He's all about STEAM education. So that arts component is really huge for what he does. So Brandon says that they were L3C, a mix of both nonprofit and for-profit.
That's a hybrid. Yeah, that's the new one. We've kind of been operating that way, but we're looking into that more, making that transition. That's not even available in all 50 states yet, I don't believe. But that's definitely, I mean, the nonprofit model is outdated. It's changing. Like it's becoming where you have to be kind of a hybrid in order to survive. So that props to him for that. That's definitely the future.
Awesome. And Navarre, he says, thanks, Michelle Morton. So he's thanking me for volunteering him. That's why we love him. So, but I really do think, that's one of the things we do here at Savvy is to really make those connections. I think that's a good one right there. So I'll make sure to link you guys. So I would say, Lamont, really and truly, because again, I've seen your journey, so I see how you grind. I've worked on some projects with you, so the curriculum itself I think is amazing. Of course, not just visually, but the actual the content. Can you tell us a little bit about this curriculum that you put together and some of the challenges and how that fits into just one, the program, and then two, entrepreneurship?
Definitely. So the curriculum, that's kind of like our bread and butter, right? Our secret sauce as a youth serving organization. And it was developed through just years of working at the Boys and Girls Clubs with these kids and just kind of seeing what they're interested in, seeing what really engages them in something that basically they love to do a lot of different things, but when they go to school and then when they come home, they don't always get to engage with those things at the same time. So I basically wanted to figure out a way where we can get them creating, becoming more creators than consumers, and then really just building that brain muscle, building that brain capacity. Because just when you work in an after school space, you only have them for a limited time. It's like an hour, maybe top sometimes. Okay. So in that amount of time, it's hard to really get like facts and formulas and figures, especially after they've been in school all day. But it is very possible to build their confidence in these different subject areas and to just build their critical thinking and problem solving ability that they can take them anywhere. So the curriculum is 3 main units: it's engineering, light, and sound. And within those units, we break down a lot of different activities that can lead to so many other STEAM pathways and different career opportunities, whether you're talking about in the digital art space, whether you're talking about engineering, even if they just want to be a musician. All of these different things, again, align with next generation science standards. So these are the things that they need to learn in school, whether it's spatial recognition, whether it's things about physics, things like that. They're all woven into these activities where, sometimes it could be something as simple as them just making a beat, but it's very intentional about how it's connecting them to the other parts of the things that they need to know.
Awesome. And so I would say, okay, so now we're traveling through your journey of being an entrepreneur, right? So first you had the idea and it was sparked, as a student and wanting to give back to the community. And then we had some successes, which was a challenge that you overcame, getting your 503c, becoming a nonprofit. And once you became a nonprofit, then it became a funding thing, right? How are we going to get funding and keep funding, which is probably, I assume, an ongoing challenge challenge is a good word for it, that you've been able to continuously work through. Now tell us about some of the passion projects that you've worked on. I know you've had a couple of films and you still get to work in music, and you get to travel. We talked about South Africa. Tell us about some of the things that are how you get to just play a little bit in your business.
Yeah, I mean, I love to travel. That's definitely another passion of mine. But the music, as I mentioned, I've been in love with music for as long as I can remember. So now music has become more of an outlet. You know what I mean? Like I still perform very regularly. I still record music. I actually just released a single not too long ago, working on the music video for it now, Small Town Heroes. And that piece kind of is my driving force, if you will, in terms of, after it's been a long day, after it's been, ups and downs of trying to figure everything out, particularly with the business, I'm definitely able to pour that energy into my music. And then the beautiful thing is that the music relates so much to the STEAM that I get to do that even while I'm working with the kids. So they'll even ask me sometimes, we're in the classroom, and they're like, Mr. Emmons, you gonna rap for us? And I'm like, finish this activity, like I'll kick it. So it definitely keeps me going, keeps me motivated. And then we worked on, you mentioned the film, we worked on the Melanin King project. And this was back in 2015, when the organization was really just starting to get off the ground. And that, of course, the cast, everybody in the cast under the age of 19, so mostly all young people. It really ties into everything that we're doing, and it makes the work so much more impactful. Like, I strongly believe that music and the arts are like the biggest influencers that we have out here. So I pour a lot of my time and energy into that as well, obviously because I love it, but also because I know that, you know, it's going to benefit my students in a different way as well. So that's it's just something that I'm really passionate about, and it gives back tenfold. Like, it gives back every time.
Awesome. So we have a few entrepreneurs here, and I want to kind of get them involved, guys. So drop in the comments a little bit about your business. Tell us a quick summary. Also give us an emoji, so that way, now that you're being introduced to Lamont, he can also be introduced to you, to the different members that are in our group that are here watching us. So I would say, so if there was one thing that you could leave with your fellow entrepreneurs, not that you're leaving us now, either a tip, trick, or thought, what would that be about just, you know, the grind that is entrepreneurship?
I would say run your race.
Nice, love it.
What I mean by that, obviously, life in general is ups and downs, but when you're an entrepreneur, it's even more drastic. A lot of highs and lows. So you have to be able to stay grounded in not only your faith, but stay grounded in your mission, the purpose of what you're doing with your business. It always helps if you have something like that to fall back on, because it won't always be the same. But if you're able to do that, then you're able to weather any storm. And that also means running your race also means not comparing yourself to anybody else or anybody else's journey. That's a big thing that is easy to get tripped up on when you see, you know, certain people maybe even doing something that you want to do or have a certain type of success that you want. Everybody's timing, everybody's journey is different. You know what I mean? I love the analogy when they talk about how it takes an elephant 2 years to carry and birth a baby elephant, you know, but dogs, and that's only one elephant.
And one baby. That's crazy.
I mean, yeah, you're a mom, so you know, like that whole process is amazing, but it's different from, you know what I'm saying, other animals who may have, like a dog, for example, may have a whole litter of puppies in less than a year. So you can't really compare your journey to anybody else's. You have to really just put your blinders on, stay focused, and celebrate each victory that you have. We get small victories, we get big victories. You know, I don't even consider them losses. The L is for learning. We learn sometimes, and and keep it going. So that's the biggest thing. Right?
I love that. I love that. Brandon says, don't tell me that. We are waiting for our baby. I don't need 2 years. Yeah, I think their baby was due 2 days ago, Brandon, either yesterday or 2 days ago. So the first one usually takes a little bit longer to come out.
Congratulations. That's amazing.
Yay. So I have a quick question. So I know that you work with, for example, the South Africa trip. I know that you work with other nonprofits and some sort of collaborative projects. And I'm really big on, you know, community over competition. So tell us a little bit about the value that you've received and any advice that you have about collaborating with different and similar organizations.
Yeah, collaboration is such a big one. So any of the major projects that we've done, the South Africa trip, how I just mentioned this exchange coalition, even the Steam the Block party, that you worked with us on a few times, where our goal is really to just bring all of the stakeholders in the city of Washington, D.C. together. All of these things are made possible through partnership and collaboration. Like, I had to learn really fast that I can't do everything. As much as I want to, I can't do everything. It's just not possible. And, the more that you're able to really hone in on what you're great at, hone in on what you're good at, you can connect with other people that are great in their own right at different things. And you're able to get a lot more accomplished. So, like the South Africa trip, for example, I mean, we're talking about impacting almost 2,000 families.
Love it.
All of that is done through collaboration. We have amazing partners over there on the ground, community organizations that are already doing the work. So obviously, if we're in their backyard, we're going to reach out to them about where to go, what are the needs. You really have to, again, just understand that value add. Even with the block party, for example, really the whole goal is to highlight the students that we work with throughout the year, but to let other people see what they're doing. So the local businesses, whether they're working in the STEAM space as well, or even if they're doing culinary arts, if they're cooking, basically just showing how all of these things are connected is crucial to actually making a larger impact. You know what I mean? We could do it on a small scale, but I love doing things big. I love doing things big. In order for that to happen, you gotta have a great team. That's just
Love it. Let's see, we have some good stuff coming in. So Jamila has a question. So, and I think it actually goes in very well. You said you realize very quickly that you cannot do it all alone, right? So that makes sense when it comes to collaborating with other organizations. She says, Lamont, are you running your business solo or do you have a support team?
Great question.
Depends on the day, right?
that was actually my answer. Yeah, so on paper, I'm the only full-time employee of the Swaliga Foundation, meaning it all falls back on me. But I'd be lying if I said I do it by myself. I have amazing volunteers. I have amazing part-time educators. I have other people that help me, and that goes back to those partnerships. You know what I mean? Like, I basically have learned to focus on what I'm good at, so that I don't try to do it. Like, that was something that I got time management and trying to do everything. My to-do list, having things on it that I don't necessarily specialize in. So hopefully I do have a support team that helps me kind of manage those day-to-day things, but more so even bigger projects. I'm keeping one day at a time. Have an amazing board. Our board of directors is very awesome in terms of generating ideas, generating connections. I'm definitely blessed to have support.
Awesome. Good question. Very good question. So let's see. We have some of your fellow savvy entrepreneurs chiming in, telling us a little bit about what they do. So I'm going to put it on the screen. It's probably going to cover us all up. But let's do it, right? So Brandon Neely, this is our mission, business activist entrepreneur, and everything we do is to provide entrepreneurs, individuals, and couples with confidence and certainty as they arrive at their most important business and financial milestones. We work with individuals and business owners who want to create wealth financially and in impact in a safe and predictable way and become their own source of funding. So, I mean, I think Brandon's a really good one because a big part of his mission, it's all about making an impact. Like you said, with the LC3, it was all about the community, and even with all of his business. His business is called Business Activist Entrepreneurship. You know what I mean? Entrepreneur. So he is one of our fellow entrepreneurs, and he's really big in the community. That may be another collaborative opportunity for anyone who's watching. Pay attention. And then I know a big part of his mission is working with entrepreneurs financially. And then we have Navari. Navari's actually both guys have had a spotlight before. So Navari, he actually is a recent transition as well to full-time entrepreneurship local to the DMV. And he specializes in brand identity design, helping brands and businesses discover their purpose by strategizing with them to discover intelligent solutions to help them communicate their purpose to their audience through graphic and web design. So in short, Navari makes pretty. He takes your company and he makes it beautiful, and he really communicates what you're about. He does everything from web to logos to your whole brand package. If I'm leaving anything out, Navari, forgive me, but we love Navari around here. Let's see. And then we have Nathaniel, who's also local to the DMV. We are your official go-to place for all natural and handcrafted skincare products to create your own luxurious spa-like experience from the comfort of your home. Freshly made to order and provide something for everyone for any occasion. Awesome. So, Lamont, are you still doing the, I know you and Naisha were doing the events where you kind of had the expo. You want to tell us a little bit about that? That kind of translates into some of the stuff that some of the guys are doing.
Yeah, definitely. You mean with the masterpiece?
The masterpiece. That was
definitely. So, I mean, the goal with the masterpiece was even to connect with local business owners and entrepreneurs as well. That was definitely one of the main goals behind that, and particularly in the arts community. Just really, putting everybody in that space where you have, I know one time we had like a home decor business. One time we had, somebody had gourmet popcorn. There's live painting, just all different types of creative things, and allowing people to connect in that space is definitely an important part of the work that we do in the community in general. Like making sure that we know what everybody has going on, so we know where to connect. It's definitely a big part of the masterpiece. And then obviously the performances and things like that, sharing music and different creative content. So definitely gonna be some more masterpiece series on the way very soon, especially as the weather gets a lot nicer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So awesome. So a couple of takeaways that I have from you being with us today. One, run your race. Yeah, that's something that you share with us. Don't compare yourself to everyone else around you guys. People have different stories and different backgrounds and different journeys. Just run your race. Collaboration, community over competition. You can't do everything yourself, and really, in order to do things big, the way that you said you like to do things, working with other organizations, they can do the same thing, they can do different things. It all fits together, and really you can do bigger and better things working with other organizations, other groups. Exactly. Awesome. And I would say the other thing would be just to keep moving. That's something that I took away from your mission. Just keep going. It's going to have its ebbs and flows and ups and downs, but just keep moving. And if you're passionate, because that's one thing that oozes from your pores for as long as I've known you about Swaliga and, music and STEAM and children, it's been like, this is one of your passions. I think that we don't wish this on you, but if you didn't make $1 ever, that this would still be something that you would be involved in.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I did it for free for more than 4 months.
For a long time, right?
It was a long time. So thankfully,
Yay.
But this is definitely a passion. And I think that's the biggest thing, having that why factor when you get out of bed. I mean, that is crucial, because like we know, we got to celebrate every victory, but not for too long.
All
and
right.
You can't dwell on every failure either, or every lesson learned for too long, and it's because of that why. For me personally, my why is these young people. Like I get out of bed knowing that they need us. They need a voice. They need opportunities. They need people to kind of really help guide them, because there are a lot of distractions right now. And that is literally what Swaliga means. It's a tribal word from the island of St. Martin, but it speaks to passion. And that's what we try to do. Help young people. If I'm able to help a young person find their passion and figure out what they love at a younger age than when I was able to, then I've done something, even if it's only one. That's how I look at it. So that's really my why and what keeps me going, even with all the ups and downs.
Love it. So I love that. You said, just to recap, so anyone who missed it really quick, not like you can't hit rewind, but Swaliga. It is from where, and it means?
The island of St. Martin. That goes back to that story I was telling. In 2011, I went to the island of St. Martin. That's a even longer story, but the word speaks of passion. Swaliga is a tribal word.
Swaliga.
Yeah, Swaliga.
Awesome. Love it. And so we have another question from Navarre. He says, Lamont, when and where will your next event for the community take place? I'd love to come out and support.
Awesome. Thank you. So we have two major events coming up in June. One is the Steam the Block party that I mentioned. That's happening on June 16th at the Arc, which is in Southeast Washington, D.C. And we'll share more info about that on our website. And the other is June the 30th. We're having our first official gala, Swaliga Foundation Gala, at Prince George's African American Museum and Cultural Center. So we're very excited about that. It's going to be fun. Put on your nice evening duds, get all dressed up. We're going to have live music, some STEAM activity, a couple surprises. And it's really going to be a great time. And again, all for a great cause. We're raising money for our South Africa trip this year so they can be there for the family to help send their students abroad. Yeah, definitely more info about that on our website, Swaliga Foundation.
Awesome. And that would be another question. So where does everyone find you, right? Because one, of course, I'm trying to encourage Lamont to post this stuff in the group, right? So we can keep up with it. So when he has these awesome events, we can support him. But two, where can we find you? Where can they find you online? Instagram, Twitter, website?
So for the foundation, all social media is at Tribe Swaliga, SWALIGA, at Tribe Swaliga. That's Instagram, that's Twitter. If you type in Swaliga on Facebook, we'll pop up. If you Google Swaliga, SWALIGA, we'll pop up. So yeah, at Tribe Swaliga, please connect with the tribe, keep up to date with what we're doing. We post a lot of different STEAM content as well, community events as well. So share that with us. We'd love to be a part. And then me personally, my personal Instagram or social media is Image Music. I'm a G. That's my artist name is Image. I am a G. So Image Music, Instagram, Twitter, the whole nine. Would love to connect. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much. Let's see. We have cool places that may bring some. So Brandon says, if you ever come to Chicago, we have some cool places that may bring some inspiration, but they did not get there overnight. Awesome. So he talks about, Chicago Center for the Arts and Technology, and agree, back to keep running your race. But you have an invitation, Lamont, and I think for the community, anyone who's in Chicago, hit up Brandon. He's going to be busy with the new baby that's 4 days past due for a little while, but after that, maybe he'll, help you, give you a tour or something like that.
Yeah, awesome.
Awesome. We are so appreciative, Lamont. Of course, I love you to death, and I'm so happy that you took this time out to hang out with us today. Guys, if you have any other questions or thoughts, drop them in the comments as we bid farewell to our friend. And he gives us kind of like his final, if you could leave anything with this awesome group of entrepreneurs that's going to learn and grow and keep, supporting you, what would that be?
Well, first, I want to say thank you for giving this opportunity and the support, and even just building this community. I think this is important for entrepreneurs and people to talk and discuss ideas and challenges. So thank you for having a vision to even create this space. Much appreciated to you for that. In terms of, I guess, final thoughts and last words, I would just say, that consistency and that faith will take you far. Like, no matter what type of business it is, no matter what type of goals or outcomes it is, make sure that you clearly define what success means to you, That goes back to running your race. Clearly define what success means to you, because it's definitely different for everyone. And once you do that, that consistency and that faith will get you there. And you just got to believe that. Like, you can't get, too caught up on, different day-to-day things that happen. But as long as you're grounded, as long as you're rooted in your faith and your why, guaranteed you get to where you're going. So yeah, just want to leave that with everybody. Peace and blessings. Thank you for everybody that tuned in, that asked questions, that chimed in. Looking forward to learning more about some of the awesome businesses that are out here, and just continue to just keep, encouraging each other. I always say the entrepreneurship life is not for everybody, but it's well worth it. I love it. I love every minute.
Yay. Awesome. Thank you so much, Lamont.
Thank you.
And we'll talk to you soon. Bye, everyone. We will see you soon. Holler at us in the group and continue leaving comments and messages. Lamont's not going anywhere. He can always post, respond to you, and people will see the information on the replay as well. Awesome. Bye, guys. Bye, Lamont.
Peace.